Well, thank you for having me, Omar.
You organized a demonstration under the theme Hands Off Our Hotels. The woman who chairs the board, which gives direction to the hotels, or the entity that owns the hotels, says nothing untoward was done. This is not a secret thing that you have suddenly exposed. It was brought before Public Accounts Committee a number of times, and there was a need for a strategic investor. That is all they sought to do since 2018. That is what they have done. It's not a big deal as you are trying to put it. What's your response?
Well, first of all, it is important to stress that as board chair of SSNIT, she ought to recognize that she needs to speak to the Ghanaian people with clarity. Is she speaking on behalf of the board of SSNIT, or as this article appears, it is her personal opinion and personal observations and analysis on this matter? That is the first challenge I have with this piece. One will have thought that as board chair, breaking her silence on this matter, she will be speaking officially and authoritatively on behalf of the organization, carrying the views of all board members. She hasn't done that in this case. Remember that on the 20th of May this year, Organized Labor held a press conference, at which press conference they announced to the whole world that their reps on the board, 4 reps on the board that the Honorable Elizabeth Ohene chairs, opposed this transaction, and that they told SSNIT to stop the transaction. If you read the 20th May statement by Organized Labor, this has been stated emphatically. I thought that the Honorable Elizabeth Ohene will address that. She doesn't address it. So, to the extent that you have other board members speaking on the platform of Organized Labor, telling us that they don't support this transaction, they don't think that this transaction is in the national interest, they have many problems with this transaction. We cannot, therefore, take the Honorable Elizabeth Ohene's op-ed on this matter as representing the views of the entire board. So that is the first point I want to make. Now, the second point that I want to make forcefully is that the Honorable Elizabeth Ohene deliberately avoids all the fundamental issues, all the substantive matters. This issue has gathered the public opprobrium, the public disgust, the public outrage that it has gathered, fundamentally because it has become government officials selling state assets to themselves. The Honorable Elizabeth Ohene does not address the conflict of interest concern. Why did she avoid that matter? The Honorable Brian Achampong, Minister of Food and Agriculture, Director of Rock City Hotel, sole shareholder of Rock City Hotel, sole beneficial owner of Rock City Hotel, is at the center. He is on the verge of taking over these 4 hotels: Labadi Beach Hotel, Elmina Beach Hotel, Ridge Royal, and La Palm Royal Beach Resort. The Honorable Elizabeth Ohene has not addressed a fundamental issue. If her SSNIT, which she chairs the board, had done their due diligence under Article 284, under Article 78, and under Article 98 of the Constitution, they will have come to the obvious conclusion that the Honorable Brian Champon is not fit to participate in this transaction. He did not apply to the Speaker of Parliament to engage in this transaction, a transaction that potentially raises conflict of interest concerns. That is why the Constitution provides this safeguard. If SSNIT, which she chairs the board, had done their due diligence, they will have known that a political exposed person, an MP, a minister, who ought to go through the basic test of submitting himself to the office of members holding profit committee of parliament and being vetted to obtain a certificate from the speaker. The Honorable Brian Champong has done none of this. So he should have been nowhere near this transaction. The Honorable Elizabeth Ohene cleverly avoids this matter, which is fundamental. We are talking about constitutional violation. Then we have also said that this transaction does not make business sense. I thought that the Honorable Elizabeth Ohene will make a business case. She concedes that it is not her board which took the decision to sell these hotels, that it is the previous board. She took over in August 2021, but she is determined to implement the decisions of the previous board. She doesn't want to pass it to the next board. So if you are determined to implement the decisions of the previous board, then you must have the full understanding. You ought to have been persuaded, and you should let us know. Ghanaians have been asking, organized labor, all of us have been asking, why do you treat all these hotels the same way? Until my expose securing a financial statement of Labadi Beach Hotel, they created the impression, even if you read the 19th May 2024 statement of SSNIT, they created the impression that all these hotels are in the same category, in the same bracket. They are all making losses. Now we know that Labadi Beach Hotel is so profitable than we ever imagined, that they have cash reserves in 5 local bank accounts, 58.4 million, that they have gross profit of 158 million, a net profit of 55 million for last year.
Okay.
That they paid dividends of 25 million last year, 10 million the previous year. So what is the business case for selling a profitable hotel?
Okay.
The Honorable Elizabeth Ohene has not told us.
Honorable.
Then there is also, it's important to emphasize this point.
Please go ahead.
The value for money issues. Because at the end of the day, this transaction should guarantee value for money. Workers should have good returns. Why is it that the Honorable Elizabeth Ohene's organization that she chairs, SSNIT, did a valuation? We spent $500,000 on a transaction advisor. The valuation for these hotels is $121 million. Why did they accept such a low offer of $61 million from the Honorable Brian Champong? Now we know, listening to Freddie Blays, that Freddie Blays' son even offered more, between $150 to $200 million. I thought that the Honorable Elizabeth Ohene will be telling us why SSNIT went for the lower bid of $61 million
okay,
and left out what the Blays family had offered. So it's very, very murky.
Okay.
There are so many issues that have not been addressed, which are germane issues.
Very well. Just quickly before we go, 2 things. I interviewed Brian Champong last week. He called you out over the claim that his hotel is not profitable. He says you claimed that you had records from the Revenue Authority. As of the time he was speaking, he said they are not even filed their tax returns, so you could not have those records to rely on as evidence. 2, when I interviewed Freddie Blays' son, he said he was going to sue you. So in just a minute or 2, have you received any processes from Freddie Blays' son who said he was going to sue you? And 2, what's your response to the statement made by Brian Champong that you in fact, he used the word lie, that you told a lie when you said you had records from GRA when they had not filed their tax returns?
So quickly on Brian Champong's claims, I always speak to facts, I always speak to documents. When I say I've intercepted documents, I have indeed intercepted documents. I have since made those documents available, and the documents are clear. All the filings of Rock City at GRA from 2021, a struggling Rock City. For 2 years, they didn't even file their returns, 2021 and 2022. And so they could not even have had a GRA tax clearance certificate, which is one of the legal issues we are raising now, that they should have been disqualified under the Income Tax Act of 2015. So I have made the documents available, all the filings have been made available. And for 2023, they went to the GRA in March and said they will make losses, they will not make profit for 2023. March this year, all the records are there. I have made them available. I can send you a copy. I can send you soft copies right now as we speak. So that has been addressed. Now the Blays family, they keep issuing threats upon threats upon threats. I have said, look, what are they waiting for? I am ready. I'm not one who shies away from the courts. You know that this morning I secured victory, the third victory over Reverend Victor Kusibuati in Kwabena Edujemfi at the appeals court. So I know that these are, it's a tough job. Okay. People will threaten you with legal suits, will try to silence you. So I'm not one who fears the court. I'm ready for their rate anytime they issue it.
But they have not. It's not reached you.
I can confirm to you that they haven't reached me yet. I have not been served in any court process.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
You're most welcome.
That's Honorable Samuel Kujetu Ablakwa. He is NDC Member of Parliament for North Town.